Oh, hi, Baratunde. How do you carry the burden of your constituents' challenges right now and care for yourself? That's a very kind question. Thank you. I think everyone responds to stress really differently. What I try to do is I feel like I've changed my pace a lot in that I try to like really protect my days off before this whole crisis hit. Like if I had a day off, I really tried to protect it and like nothing would happen that day. I have complete control over that day. And how I've kind of been shifting since I represent Queens and I represent the Bronx, which are some of the hardest hit communities in the country right now, is I kind of recognize that there are some days where I'm going to be just like working all day, 12 hours or more. But there are other days where I'm just going to accept that I'm not going to be as productive on a certain day. And I'm being kind of ruthless about cutting things that are completely unnecessary or cutting things that can wait. And I think for everyone out there right now, obviously everyone's not in my position. I'm not in a position where I can just be like, I don't need to work as much because, I'm serving a community that's very hard hit as a public servant. But I do think that it's really important to get the message across that you do not or should not feel the pressure to be as productive now as you were before. This is a very stressful moment. A lot of people are doing double duty. Basically, if you are a caregiver or if you are a parent in any way, and now all of a sudden you have to work from home and take care of your kids, guess what? Now you have 2 jobs simultaneously. And we should recognize that. We should make space for that. And, it's a kind of a function of capitalism that we measure people's worth in their work productivity, not in their actual full worthiness as a human being. We strip away how good you are to a community. It's like how much you do in a community doesn't matter. How good of a parent you are doesn't matter. Like all of these things don't matter. What matters is how productive you were, how much money you made, or how much work you put in this week, how many hours you put in. And I think that a lot of people should take this opportunity to reassess that and to say, you can be a worthwhile human being, even if it takes you a little bit longer to do an assignment. You are just as worthy of a human being if you find yourself unemployed right now. If you happen to be, in the same position as millions of people in this country, if you're unemployed, you are no less worthy today than you were yesterday. You are no less worthy now than you were when you were employed. And there's all of these messages, very subtle, but persistent, that basically says you are only as worthy as your paycheck or your title or, your last like physical or market-based accomplishment. And it's not true. It's just not true. And, that's also, symptoms of that are also the fact that we treat and pay emotional labor less than we pay other types of labor. And by emotional labor, I mean, we don't pay home health aides. We don't pay, child care providers. We don't pay teachers. We don't pay any of these folks, nurses, the salaries that they deserve. They're undervalued despite the enormous amount of productivity because that emotional and social labor is invisible and difficult to measure. And so as a consequence, it's undervalued and it shouldn't be. So anyways, don't feel pressure to be as productive. If you're in a position where you're managing other people, please don't have the same expectations on them. Give people space and room to be a human being, because, you know, the rules of our economy are basically to grind people down and minimize them to just their work productivity, not their human value. So, you know, that's that. Aside from that, thank you all for joining. If, again, you want to take a look at how to walk through unemployment, just go to our Facebook page. It's there, it's saved. And have a great evening. Take care of yourselves and stay inside. Bye, everyone.